Dello heavy-duty engine oils. Proven engine protection at prices you can rely on, giving you even more reasons to choose Dello. Today we're here to talk about technology and machines. We've traditionally talked about technology from a machine control standpoint. But what if there was something out there that was focused more on helping us become more efficient as operators? And that's exactly what Dig Robotics is designed for. Here to talk with us is Noam from Dig Robotics. For beginners, for people who are totally unfamiliar, can you give us an overview of your system and what it's doing in the field?
Sure, absolutely. Dig Robotics is an operator guidance system for all types of excavation machinery. So think excavators, bulldozers, wheel loaders, backhoes, even machines as small as a skid steer. Our system helps operators achieve continuously full buckets while reducing cycle time, fuel consumption, and wear and tear on the machine hydraulics and on the bucket teeth and cuttage. The system provides real-time feedback regarding cut depths, bucket angle, speed, and when to pull the bucket out to achieve that full bucket in minimum time and cost. Primarily in mass excavation projects, where you're looking to move as much material as you can in the shortest time possible and as little cost as possible, we are providing a 30% improvement in performance.
So just to clear up any confusion, this is not machine control. It is separate and independent and really truly accomplishes a different goal than machine control?
Absolutely. I think we kind of tend to use the term machine control as equivalent to grade control, which is popular with a lot of the machines. Definitely over the last decade has become probably the most popular assistance system out there. Grade control, the way we look at it, grade control is really focused on accuracy, giving the operator a warning as he's getting near the outer boundaries of the excavation shape. With Dig Robotics, our focus is on all of the material within the boundaries. We're helping the operator for every individual cycle from the very first time you're pushing your bucket into the material to get that material out as fast and as efficiently as possible with little diesel and wear and tear on the machine up until you reach those outer boundaries. And then if you have a grade control system that can take over, we definitely see that for larger projects, the bulk of the work is happening within the boundaries where grade control is not effective, but Dig Robotics is very effective. Some excavation work, for example, in mining and the open pit and quarries, there really is no application for grade control because you don't have any boundaries. And that's another place where Dig Control excels.
So you make an interesting point that I think a lot of people don't really think about. Grade control is increasing the efficiency of the operator, but only for that last final pass or two. And we don't really do anything. We've largely not done anything with the other 98% of digging that we're doing, the bulking phase. And here you're coming up with something that is specifically designed for the bulking phase of the dig.
Correct. So, terms like productivity and efficiency gets thrown around a lot. And I do believe that grade control is a terrific application. And it does have some derivative effect on your efficiency or productivity, right? So when the operator is working within the boundaries, he does have some increased level of freedom to work a bit more aggressively because he knows he's going to be getting that warning when he's getting close to the boundaries. When he gets closer to the boundaries, he's getting help to get that grade that you want. So that's fantastic. But just as you said, when you look at any kind of typical excavation, if it's anything as small as, putting in a pool in your backyard, or if you're excavating 5 stories of underground parking in downtown Detroit, right? The bulk of the work is happening within the boundaries where grade control is essentially not relevant. And Dig Robotics is focused on everything that happens within those boundaries, helping the operator for each individual cycle to ensure that he's getting a full bucket in the shortest cycle time possible and with little diesel consumption and wear and tear on the machine. So it really takes care of the bulk of the work, regardless if you have a grade control system at the end to help you or not.
So this is where I'm going to play the industry pessimist as my role. Noam, we're putting only our very experienced operators in these large excavators. And these guys have been digging for years and they know how to dig. They're our most efficient and productive operators we have out there. Why am I going to go spend money on this system to tell me they're already efficient?
But before we get into that, I want to take a second to tell you about the sponsor of this video, Chevron Lubricants.
These cranes work around the clock for months at a time. If one of these engines ever goes down, it costs more than our reputation. Switching to Delo 600 ADF, it's been a game changer. We've had no issues with clogged DPFs. I mean, no regen lights, no cleaning, no replacements, nothing. This oil goes beyond anything we've ever used. I choose proven protection that keeps our cranes on the job. I choose Delo 600 ADF.
Why am I going to go spend money on this system to tell me they're already efficient?
Sure, that's a fair question. So I'm going to say, first of all, that for more novice operators, we are providing real-time feedback. So as the operator is moving the buckets through the cut, we're able to tell him how deep, how far, what angle, and when should be pulling up. For more experienced operators, we can switch over from a real-time feedback to kind of a trend feedback. So my co-founder, Ken Gray, who's an avid golfer, likes to give the golf pro analogy, right? So if you're starting out playing, you want that golf pro to stand right next to you. Maybe he's holding your hand and he's helping you do the swing. But even if you're an experienced golfer, you might want a golf pro to stand a few feet out and just look at you and from time to time tell you that you're not swinging your hips well, or maybe you're slicing your hit, right? I'm not a golfer, so that was my best attempt in doing the golf analogy. So similarly...
Oh, that's a great analogy.
Yeah, thank you. So a credit goes to Ken, who's our golfer. So I think, honestly, we know that on the bigger machines, you have typically more experienced operators, and they know their work. So we're not looking to overwhelm them with feedback to make it annoying, but we are able to give them insight as a trend or as a report to help them be more aware to issues that maybe they're not accustomed to considering, right? Maybe they trend to go a bit too deep just to ensure they're getting a full bucket, and they can provide the same level of productivity for their company without putting so much wear and tear on the machine or on the bucket, or without consuming so much diesel. And I think that that's, for a lot of the operators who are working with companies who they have a true connection with, they want to be better. They want to bring a better result for their company. I think it's a win-win. We are currently deploying our system on two 100 metric ton machines. These are, and they have tremendous operators there. The operators on these machines have been working with them from the moment they were purchased about 25 years ago. So these guys know their work. With that being said, these are machines that are going through 50,000 gallons of diesel a year. So if we can help them reduce 10 to 15% of the diesel that they're consuming and still keep up the same level of productivity, this is good for the business, but in the end of the day, it's also a good thing for the operator when he can do a better job for his boss. That's the way I see it. We will be deploying later this year 2 systems in the US with a company called Woods Dirt on 2 75-ton cat excavators. So it's true that smaller machines tend to have more novice operators who need the training. However, the bigger machines have a higher cost of operation and typically are working in more intense applications where improving by 10% or 15%, at the end of the day, cash-wise, has a bigger payoff. So we're seeing interest from both sides of the spectrum.
Interesting. So my final question for you is, this sounds like it's pretty involved. What does it take to do an installation? And it sounds like it would be spendy.
So that's a good question, and I want to clarify. So our initial product, which is, we're still in development phase, our initial product is a purely peripheral guidance system without intervening. We generally believe that there's a lot of work that can be done enhancing the operator rather than trying to replace him. With that being said, it's a bolt-on aftermarket system. So basically, we're putting a 3D camera, we're bolting it onto the roof of the cab. we're tapping into the diagnostic socket to read a fuel consumption, hydraulic information, hydraulic pump RPM, and other information. And we're putting a touch screen in the cab, kind of like a grade control screen. So you're going to have another screen in your cab. Sorry for taking up some more real estate. And this is a system that we are engineering so an operator can bolt it on and calibrate it in less than 2 hours.
Wow. So we don't even need to bring a specialized technician out.
That's the way we're designing it. Now, potentially some customers might prefer having a technician come out. The way we're going to be marketing the Dig Robotics system, we're talking to dealers. So if you're buying your machine or servicing your machine at your dealer, your CAT, your Volvo, your Komatsu, whomever is your dealer, we're looking to be working with dealers. We're also looking to work with rental companies. So basically, if you're renting out a machine from a rental company without naming any kind of names, they can offer you to install on your machine a Dig Robotics system. So even if you're an experienced operator, you're obviously not experienced with that specific machine. So by getting a Dig Robotics kind of a upgrade on that machine, you're basically ensuring that you'll be getting maximum results from your machine from day one. If you're taking it for a week, a month, or 3 months, I think which is a interesting value proposition. Pricing wise, we're looking to have the system rented out somewhere around $500 a month. So you don't need to purchase the system and keep it on your side continuously. So those dealers or those rental companies can basically offer you to rent it out. You can do it per machine, or if you have a specific project that you want to increase your performance, or if you have an operator who you think can benefit from having a Dig Robotics for a couple of months. We think that in that kind of a price range and with the value that we're generating, you will want to have a Dig Robotics system on all of your machines, on basically the bulk of your projects. So we're very confident that the value that we're generating at that price range is significant, and customers, it's a price point where they can say, I'll take it for a month and see. And at the end of the month, you're going to see that you're going to be moving more dirt in less time and less diesel, and you're going to want to keep it on your machine.
Excellent. This is interesting. This is a very different conversation than the normal tech conversations we have. So Noam, thank you so much for the time. I really appreciate it.
Sure, it was great talking.
Well, thank you again for Dig Robotics coming on the show to talk about the future of the industry and how this technology will play a critical role, not only in helping current operators, but future autonomous machines down the road. As always, I hope this helps you in your business. We'll catch you on the next episode of The Dirt.